These are mostly elderly and vulnerable patients, we're told, people who may have had a fall, broken their hip, who require hospital care, but they're being made to wait in A&E, and according to the Royal College of Emergency Medicine, it's making them sicker because they get less care there. That's why the college is calling this a matter of national shame, and its president spoke to Sky News a little earlier about the causes of this.
Fundamentally, the big problem behind it is we don't have enough beds in our system. If you look at all the tables, we are at the absolute bottom of almost all the other European countries in the number of beds we have per head. And we think we need somewhere between 10 and 12,000 extra beds in the system. Now, that sounds like a lot of beds, but actually it's not. It's 1 or 2 extra wards per hospital. Now, a bed is not just a physical structure. It's actually got to have the staff behind it. And, if we can get enough space within our hospitals to move patients through, actually, it will become more efficient, because what we're doing with these long waits is we're making people sicker.
So more hospital beds will end what they call corridor clinics, where patients are being treated on trolleys in corridors, which apparently happens a lot more than we think. They're also calling for more funding for social care to free up beds in hospital, to reduce the number of bed blockers, move patients through from emergency departments onto the wards. They also want to see more emergency medicine staff, more data to be published on hospital performances, and fundamentally more resources for the NHS. All of that is easier said than done, though, of course. NHS England have reacted to these figures with a statement in which they point out that last year was pretty exceptional for them in terms of what they were dealing with, industrial actions, also waves of COVID and flu, record patient demand, and while waiting times have come down, they say, since January when they introduced their recovery plan for emergency care, clearly there's a lot of room for improvement here.
Ivor, thanks so much for that. Ivor Bennett there for us in Westminster. Now, Rishi Sunak says he's committed to levelling up, but has again refused to back building HS2 to the north of England. He was speaking as Conservative heavyweights hit out, demanding the whole line should be built.
We've got spades in the ground, we're getting on and delivering, but across the north what we're also doing is connecting up all the towns and cities in the north, east to west. That's a really important part of how we will create jobs, drive growth across the region, all part of our plans to level up. Freeports are another good example of that, whether that's in Teesside or elsewhere, attracting new investment, new businesses coming in, all good examples of the government levelling up.
The former Deputy Prime Minister Lord Heseltine joins us now. Lord Heseltine, thanks so much for weighing in on this. I know you have already an extensive op-ed in the Times today criticising it, calling it potentially an act of vandalism if HS2 doesn't go through in full. Reading your op-ed, it suggests the biggest issue you have with it is the message it would send in terms of the scale of commitment the government has to the idea of levelling up.
That's a very important thing. But there's one thing it's important to say. We're dealing with rumours, speculation, and I'm not party to the government decision-making process. So I can only assume that as yet no decision has been taken. So I'm talking about the consequence of a decision that may be taken. I hope not, but it's important to say that. Now, the fact is there are a number of serious problems with the decision. First of all, the levelling up essence is linking the north to the more prosperous south to improve communications. And now it's been government policy for many years to pursue that, and a vital part of it is HS2. So if they now cancel the vital part of that vital part, in other words, the Birmingham to Manchester bit, that would send a very clear signal that the levelling up agenda has been put on deep freeze. So I can't believe they're going to do it, but what I also know is that it would send a shockwave to investors who have spent very significant sums of money already investing in the concept. And if you add to that the doubts of Brexit and the climate change decisions last week, you begin to see a government which is developing a reputation that it says one thing but then doesn't carry it through. Now, that is a very, very dangerous thing for this country to accumulate. So the third lot of people that I think are going to be very angry about this, and I live in the heart of it in Northamptonshire, where our countryside has been scarred deeply. Property values affected, the environment seriously undermined, in order to build what is now potentially a sort of toy town rail. I mean, who wants a faster rail between London and Birmingham? And it's not even that, because it doesn't even go to Euston. So there'll be very considerable anger in my part of England from the people who have already had to put up with all of this, to be told that there was no point in it.
So the costs, which you acknowledge in the op-ed, have clearly risen significantly in terms of the estimates to complete this. We're now looking at sort of 100 billion in total or thereabouts. In your article, which you co-wrote with George Osborne, a former Chancellor, you also commend Rishi Sunak and Jeremy Hunt for restoring a sense of respect. I think you imply in the article from financial markets, financial participants, no doubt linked to the idea that they're not going down a path of unfunded spending and tax cuts and the like. So I just wonder how you can commend that part of what they're doing and then also seek to sort of tie their hands and say, well, you've got to continue with this bucket of spending, continue your good intentions by making cuts elsewhere. And having been in the cabinet room yourself, can you understand that there's a duplicity to the article?
Not a duplicity, because we're up front and say that we realise the dilemma. And frankly, it is the dilemma of all governments, all time. And I've been involved in most of the big infrastructure problems of the last 40 or so years, from the Channel Tunnel to, which was, of course, HS1, to the regeneration of London and Liverpool, the Jubilee line. And they all have characteristics. First of all, they're all opposed by the Treasury, because the Treasury is against spending money. And secondly, they were all politically controversial in one way or another. So I'm very familiar with the tension that arises when you have a major long-term investment program. But what you can't do is to do a sort of half job, and if you want to preserve confidence. So I think it's important to say, of course, that this extra expenditure, and there should be an inquiry into why these figures have gone so awry, but this extra expenditure stretches out over a considerable period of time. Yes, there will have to be consequential cuts in other programs or failure to increase other programs. But I think you just have to think in terms of Britain's reputation, of the confidence of investors, of the promises that governments have made, to realise that cancelling HS2 is a very dangerous, slow step down a slippery slope of lack of confidence.
I wonder, as I said, you co-wrote this article this morning with George Osborne. I wonder whether you'd have some criticism for him. When he came up with the idea with David Cameron, it was originally meant to cost about 30 billion. We're now talking about 100 billion. And the plans were initially announced before the 2010 election. He was in power for 6 years or so. Should this have been fully greenlit? Should ground have been broken on all parts of this line when the costs were lower? And potentially, should we be talking about it being completed right now, not even started?
Well, we are where we are. I happen to think George Osborne under David Cameron was a very good team, and certainly the levelling up agenda made very significant progress under the pair of them in a way that at the moment it's faltering. But I have no doubt that there needs to be an investigation as to why and who was responsible. These costs appear to have risen so dramatically. The truth is, and this is not a new story, we're not good at big infrastructure costs, projects. And we need to be, because they're always going to be part of the public scene. So an inquiry as to what went wrong is important for the long term. But certainly I would not join the criticisms of David Cameron and George Osborne. I think they saw the need to level up, and they made very significant steps, including the mayoral authorities, in that direction.
Lord Heseltine, just to wrap things up whilst I've got you, would you cut inheritance tax? I myself think that at the present moment, it might be quite difficult to explain to people why cuts to the most prosperous parts of the community take precedence. Of course, as a person who has a significant inheritance problem, I would welcome it. But your question was not that. The question is whether at this moment I would welcome it. I think that the state of public finance is of such a worry that I'm not sure that strikes the right balance. Lord Heseltine, as ever, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Let's bring in now our political correspondent, Mari Aurora, to get some reflection to this, Mari. And I guess, obviously, as Lord Heseltine pointed out as well, it's all the sort of rumour mill at the moment. But if part of these leaks came out in the last week or so to test the policy and to test the potential policy change within his own party, what do you think Rishi Sunak's conclusion will be?
Well, that's a really good question, Wilf, because realistically, we know that HS2 divides the Tory party. Some sides are absolutely furious about it and have been furious about it from the beginning, and other sides have been pro and are still very much pro HS2, despite the fact that costs are spiralling. And from that interview there with Lord Heseltine, I mean, he was very, very clear, after we already saw it in his op-ed with George Osborne in the Times this morning, that he thinks that HS2 needs to go ahead. And I think one of the kind of key quotes from his interview with you, Wilfred, was that he said, if the northern leg of HS2 is scrapped, that is a clear signal that levelling up is on deep freeze. Essentially, therefore, levelling up is not happening. And that was a huge election promise from the Conservatives. And that was the vision that they were selling to voters back in 2019 and since then. So I think the real question is, how does Rishi Sunak find a way to still persuade voters and to persuade his own party that levelling up is still taking place and is still not just a slogan but a reality, if he's essentially potentially going to scrap one of the kind of flagship policies for levelling up? I mean, interestingly, on the breakfast show this morning, Rachel McLean, she is a levelling up minister, and she couldn't say anything about HS2 either. And we know we've had the likes of Boris Johnson, we've had the likes of David Cameron, we've had even, Labour figures, Andy Burnham, Sadiq Khan, people from all sides of the political spectrum saying HS2 needs to go ahead. But it's the money question that is causing all of this problem. So the question is, when will the announcement come, and how much of HS2 will become a reality?
Mari, thanks so much. Mari Aurora there for us in Westminster. You're watching Sky News Today. Lots more still to come. Feeling the strain on your pocket? Well, 15 years of a Great British slowdown is to blame. That's according to one economic think tank. We'll be joined by them to discuss shortly. Met Police firearms crisis, the pressures of taking split-second decisions. We get the inside story from a former firearms officer. And next, we'll be live at the Lib Dems conference in Bournemouth.
always more to the news than a headline. We want to discover, to delve a little deeper, to find out what's really going on. Explanation, analysis, the people at the heart of every story. I'm Neil Patterson, and this is the Sky News Daily Podcast. Alex Crawford joining us now from Ukraine.
Their personal possessions are all scattered around the place.
Our economics and data editor, Ed Conway, try and make sense of the big numbers for us.
Things can change incredibly quickly, and that's what they have done.
So, by the end, we'll hopefully all understand what's going on in the world just that little better. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Sir Ed Davey has revealed he'll drop a key income tax pledge in a bid to win over Conservative Party voters. Our political correspondent Rob Powell joins us live now from the party conference in Bournemouth. Rob, thanks for joining us. So we're going to get a couple of key policy announcements, and will they be really stuck to and part of their manifesto?
Yeah, morning, Wilf. We've had quite a lot in terms of policy already. Yesterday, the Lib Dems voted through what they called their pre-manifesto that will make up the kind of centre of their offer at the next general election. And I suppose how I'd sort of characterise what was in there and the broad approach from the Lib Dems at the moment is a sort of centrist, moderate populism, I guess. They're unashamedly tailoring the politics here and the political pitch, if you like, but also the policy to wavering and disillusioned Tory voters in the southeast and the southwest of England, mainly places like the home counties and in traditional strongholds closer to here in the southwest of England as well. I think the issue with that is it can throw up some flashpoints between the policy and reality, but also between what the party leadership wants to do and what members want to do. I think on this question of today abandoning that long-held pledge to put a penny on income tax for public services, that comes off the back of a series of pretty pricey pledges they've laid out over the last few days in terms of free social care, pledges around getting people to see a GP within a week. So I guess the question is how you pay for that. The former Lib Dem leader, Sir Vince Cable, said to a Fringe event yesterday they really needed to have a conversation about tax if they were going to be serious about investing in public services. Ed Davey says he wants to focus on cutting tax breaks for banks, the bank levy and the bank surcharge. Other flashpoints have been around Brexit. There's members here that believe that the party needs to be more forthright in advocating its long-term policy to rejoin the European Union. Housing as well is likely to come up today, with young Liberal members wanting a national house building target to be adopted. The issue there is they're fighting in lots of home counties seats where actually perceived overdevelopment, as some residents put it, comes up on the doorstep as an issue. But all in all, the mood here is pretty good. They've had those four big by-election wins in the last couple of years that have really cheered them and made them look towards the general election and possible gains they can make there. The chatter here as well is about what happens if they end up with enough seats that they can hold the balance of power and potentially play kingmaker, and what potentially could be the requests and the trade-offs to, say, support a Sir Keir Starmer government if he can't get over the line to get a majority on his own. I think one note of caution in all of that, though, is that actually the national polling figures for the Lib Dems haven't really changed much since those disappointing results in 2019. So yes, they're doing well in by-elections when they can focus resource in one place, but trying to do that in a general election when you're fighting in lots of seats and your resources are more spread out, well, that's a different beast.
Rob, thanks so much for that. Rob Powell there for us in Bournemouth at the Lib Dem conference. No doubt we're seeing lots more from him in the next couple of days. Right, time for a quick look at the weather.
Warm memories wherever you go. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Monday is looking mostly dry and fine for many of us, ahead of some pretty stormy weather that's expected to reach us later this week. At the moment, however, things are far quieter. There's some sunshine around for many places, including in Bournemouth, as you just saw. It's feeling fairly pleasant in that sunshine, with temperatures generally topping between 17 and 22 degrees. We do have some showers dotted around, mostly in the north, though. Some of the showers will be pretty heavy, with some rumbles of thunder expected at times. However, during the afternoon, those showers will tend to fade, and most places should end the day on a dry note.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
You're watching Sky News today. Still to come, feeling the strain on your pocket. 15 years of a great British slowdown.
used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
Okay, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Yes, sir. Today is the 25th day of September, the year 2023, with the time now 10:45 from the House of London, and it is the Starr Radio UK Morning Show, of course, the Monday edition. So wherever you are tuned in this morning, I want to say a massive welcome to the program, wherever you might be. You will never change. You had a very nice weekend wherever you might be. Let me say good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi, HR Linda Pallien, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Let me also say good morning to Frank. He's back. I was going to say all the way in Ghana. No. He's back in town. And let me say good morning also to Felix, all the way in Aberdeen. Kojodi, good morning to you. On the back of here, say I salute you. Dr. Martin, good morning. And all you wonderful people who listen to us here in the UK, HRH Linda Pallien, all the way in Cyprus, I salute you. And then Princess Yasantua. Mr. Pallien, good morning to you all. Let me say good morning to Olakunle and my Bishop Adeshina, Pastor Momo, and Pastor Emmanuel Chidi. All the men of God on this platform, I salute each and every one of you. Let me also say good morning to Sam Maxwell, Moyua, Anthony Dideji. I say it's good morning to you. Rachel, good morning. And wherever any one of you, yes, are listening to us from across the globe, from Accra to Azerbaijan, wherever you are listening to us from, I want to salute you. Okie go. Now, for the first time, for those of you who tuned in to listen to us for the first time on the Star Radio UK Morning Show, the Monday edition, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quotes for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel updates as well. We'll move from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. Then move on from there, have a look at some of the other stories. When it comes to all the details making the rounds from... You got it, Niger. So Yomi will bring you the updates from Nigeria, and then we continue from thence. Move on to other African countries and across the globe. I worship you, and we will be bringing you. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. It goes on from there, and then at 12:30 to bring the first part of the program to a close. At 12:30, we take you straight to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Pallien is, where she's going to be bringing you Career 101 this afternoon. Then at 1 o'clock exactly, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So in the gist, that's what's going to be happening. So wherever you are, stay glued to your sets. Don't touch the dial. This is Star Radio UK. And I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
You great. You hold the world in your hands.
Okay, so let's crack on. Now, you are the sole determinant of your success. You are the sole determinant of your success. That is by way of the quote for the day. So what input are you putting in today, or whatever you are planning in the future? Because you are the one who determines whether you're going to be successful or not. Don't sit on your Valentine time and tell me that it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay that way. Get up, stand up, fight for your right. Alright then, now moving on straight to the weather front. This afternoon will continue dry with a mixture of variable cloud and sunny periods throughout, easing. Winds will roll. Tonight will be largely clear with just some bands of high cloud. Areas of thick low cloud will move in from the south in the early hours. However, but it will stay mainly dry. Light winds expected as well. That is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Top temperature 23 degrees, lowest 12 degrees, pollen level, UV level, moderate pollution, low sunset 18:53, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 06:51 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast, and let's move on straight to the travel update as well. Keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads as we keep navigated. I promise our born. Now those of you traveling on the major roads in London, A316, A4, A40, Central London red routes have all got serious delays, so please, your best bet is to avoid that. That aside, all the others good service there. On the underground this morning, Bakerloo line and Elizabeth lines have all got minor delays, so avoid that. All the rest, good service there. DLR, London Tramlink and London Overground, good service. Straight on to the river bars, and apart from the Woolwich Ferry that's got reduced service, all the others are running a very, very good service there. The London Cable Car is running a good service, and that brings us to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. So on the National Rail this morning, Avanti West Coast, Great Western Railway, London North Eastern Railway, ScotRail, South Western Railway, and Southeastern Railways have all got minor delays. If you can avoid them, do your best to do so. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and that is where I bring to a close, and that's how I say it. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Holy, holy. Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 7 minutes to the top of the hour, and it is the time for Global Trotting. And let's crack on. When it comes to the story, some of the stories going to be looking at from Nigeria: 10 billion debt, CBN defaults on payment to banks. Wow. Is it trouble brewing? The CBN has defaulted on payment to banks dollars, and the dollar is nearing 1,000 naira. $1 equivalent to 1,000 naira. There. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Is suitable still? Whether you think that he's going to do great, or you reckon that the time has come and he has to fall on his sword. And some people are saying that he's got the best intentions and the best policy, so we all have to hold on to it. My ex-classmate Osman Oladipo, languishing as general manager in Nigeria mediocre bank Shatima, is saying so he should have come with him to become maybe a minister or what are they? A governor or a senator or whatever they want to call themselves. Nobody can claim power in court through backdoor, says APC Governor Aliyah. Well, interesting. Well, so if you want to fight, you have to make sure that the police stations you fight, make sure that nothing until what happens there. Okay, tensions in Lagos as Governorship Election Tribunal to deliver a judgment today, and then give us new constitution. Afe Babalola tells Fagbemi, and a Tinubu order security to rescue abducted Gasu varsity students with neither terrorists nor bandits. NNPP tells Kano Tribunal judges. Nasara urges Tinubu to probe alleged missing $15 billion, 200 billion naira oil revenues. Where did it go to? We're going to be telling you more on that front. Unknown gunmen kidnap commissioner for information. Borno government is saying a gunman killed 14, kidnapped 60 in attacks in northern Nigeria. And that's what we say it all the time. When we are going on the weekend or overnight, we say, may Nigeria not happen to you. Okay, politics of power and the imperative of morale in authority. They want to have reason not to listen to Obi Atiko's case. What do you think about all that? Lots going to be happening there. Well, they said that if we stall to get into power, just let sleeping dogs lie. Let's come to the next election and you can also maybe have the opportunity to also outweigh that. But if not, just shush. Is that what is happening when it comes to Africa? And they say, you know what is democracy? That's what the West, the advanced countries tell us. It's democracy. Let's continue that way. Really? Because it's favoring them, right? Okay, we shall see. Won't we? Definitely we will. We will see. Now, Benin, families mourn victims of contraband fuel depot fire. Now, Benin is a major destination for smuggling fuel from neighboring Nigeria. A decision in May by Nigeria's government to end the fuel subsidy has caused a scarcity there, and there's been an explosion there. UNGA Ethiopia calls for renewed global solidarity. Some of the stories making the rounds there, and we're going to be moving on straight to some of the stories also making the rounds in Ghana as well. There's not going to be lots more from that point, but wherever you are, don't you go away. Flood from Bui Dam spillage leaves 15,500 residents displaced in Buipe. Now, this is an annual occurrence, but the question is, what is government doing about it? What negotiations are they going into with the Burkinabe government or people? Well, they will talk, and every day, every year, we have the same old, just another day. But well. And woman shot dead over witchcraft allegation at Janga. When will we leave these primitive things? Now, you're going to be taken to court and sentenced for what? Well, Alan Chermantin speaks about his political future today. We're going to be following it very, very closely. Is this still going to be with the MPP, or is it going to break away from them? What is his future going to be like? Universal banks urge to invest in tech as consumer satisfaction for remote banking drops. And then Occupy Jolobi House demo. We're not against demonstration. That's what the police are saying. But well, they went there arresting them and all stuff. But they said it's a 3 days demonstration. I don't know how far that has gone down. But what do you think about all that and everything that is happening on the African continent? You can't hold those that we voters have voted in power or to power accountable. No, they become a law to themselves. But what do you think? Lots more coming away from there. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In other parts of the world as well. Hollywood writers in deal to end U.S. studio strike. Hopefully, screenwriters say a tentative deal to end the strike that halted film and TV production is exceptional. We'll see how it all goes. A notorious Italian mafia boss, Messina Denaro, has died. The 61-year-old who spent decades on the run boasted that he could fill a cemetery with his victims. My goodness. And NASA hails awesome recovery of asteroid sample. A capsule carrying debris from asteroid Bennu lands safely in the Utah desert. We've seen more of it on television and stuff like that. You ask yourself the question, what are they looking for? Why are they doing all those things? It took them 7 years though, to go and come back. That's a good one. The king of crypto lost me 1.7 million as Sam Bankman fried awaits trial for fraud. His former investors wonder if they will ever recoup their losses. Those are some of the stories making the rounds there in the UK front as well. Army on standby as dozens of Met armed officers hand in their guns. Review into armed police is set up as dozens turn in weapons after an officer faces a murder charge. It's a split of a second decision. How do you know you are making the right decision? Do we, virtually, if it's in other countries, they don't hold them accountable. They just wishy-washy situation, and people are set free. But when it comes to the UK front, if you go discharge your arms, you have to account for it. But when that's split of a second decision, how do we actually, and what protection can we give to them? Some are saying that, well, they don't need that because they need to know before they shoot. But somebody can even use a table leg to hit you or throw at you or throw anything. Not necessarily they also, a gun or anything of the sort. But how do we deal with all that? More going to be coming your way. Backlash against scrapping HS2 rail lane grows, and former Chancellor says axing Manchester leg of the train line will be like economic self-harm. Well, more going to become electric car rules could cost car makers billions. New Brexit trade rules could push up the price of electric cars. Manufacturers are warning. Well. Rich oil states should pay climate tax, says Brown. The former Labour Prime Minister wants the wealthiest oil producers to help poorer nations tackle climate change. Well, now Ghana, they've got oil. Yes, for some time now. I don't know how that has helped them. I don't see anything different from there. They are even more impoverished. Nigeria, they've had that, and the people situations are worse off than what it is. Now we're talking about what other materials have they minerals have they got? Even last week we were talking about that Nigeria has also got that, and then we have some Western countries saying that, you know what, we're going to go into some agreement with you there. But I was saying once again, what is used for making batteries, electric batteries for all these electric cars and for cells, various things, mobile phones and all that stuff. What's the name? Lithium. But the question is, are they going to get a good deal out of that? Well, how has all these minerals helped us? Some people are raking it in like no man's business, and others are suffering the consequences of it. But what do you think? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. It is Starr Radio UK. But now, let's enjoy this song. And I know those of you in Africa and other parts of the world where you don't see any hope. I mean, it's all bleak and doom. Well, Broken Pencil still strides. And this is from Kofi Boham. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you in a moment.
Alright. This is a letter to the broken. See you fighting all the demons in your life that have wreaked heavy carnage. Don't be dismayed. I know you think that your dreams and everything that you hope for seem to be late. Yeah, looks like your problems don't seem to go nowhere. Just take a deep breath. People talk about you, it's got you feeling down and really stressed. Don't tell me you don't know the trouble that I've been going through. You self don't know, see, the same thing they go through, me self and they go through too. Who told you the lie? When you fall, it's the end of your life. I heard a whisper from above, I pray it opens up your eyes. Broken pencil still right, so keep on writing. And fallen soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting. One day you'll lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining. One day you will win, yeah. One day you will win. Broken pencil still right, so keep on writing. And fallen soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting. One day you'll lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining. One day you will win, yeah. One day you will win. Now snap on it. News around this life is not fair. Greed is all we see. You gave your heart to the wrong folk, they broke it, and now you put it on free. Fake life on Instagram and Snapchat got you feeling ungrateful. My sister, if you could see the real them, you know you are being a great fool. You wrote a paper and failed. Sit down and write it again. One day you will kill him. He broke your heart and you cried. Give love another try. True love will heal him. I'm not trying to look down on your problems. No. I know say you don't know how to sabi solve them. Allow me to introduce you to someone I know.
Well, let's start Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
If you fell, just rise.
Broken Pencil still writes, so keep on writing.
If you fell,
though the odds might be against you. You were looking at a particular project or something of the sort. It's not happened, and you seem to be so low.
Wipe the tears from your eyes. If you fell, just rise.
Rise up, wipe the tears from your eyes, and you can see clearer, and then you can still go on. Coffee bomb for you. Starr Radio UK.
Broken pencils to rise. Keep on writing.
We should be having Mr. Olayomi Kwaki joining us in the next few moments.
Keep on fighting.
I'll continue to enjoy the rest of the song whilst we wait for Yomi to join in.
The skies and your light will be shining.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Your wedding bells will ring. One day you'll win the paper, you pass it again. First class is waiting for you. International scholarship is coming. Scholarship, yes, it's coming. You come out of your own house. One day you shall go ride your own car. One day you win. One day you win. Your album go hit. Your ministry go blow. One day you win. Don't mind the haters, they don't know.
Well, one day you will win. One day. So don't give in, don't give up. Yes. Continue to do what you are doing. Yes. Life is not easy,
Life you will fix it.
Wow, but Starr Radio UK, we do our best to bring you the best in everything. Making sure that each morning we are here with you during the weekdays to bring you this show. The morning show, of course. Now you can do me a massive favor. You know what I wanted from you? Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Tell them that Archie is here, Yomi is here, happiness is near. So let me cross over to our North London studios where I have my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi. Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie, and a very good afternoon for those that are listening and watching because of the different time zone. But we're still same time with Nigeria, so it is exactly 9 minutes past 11 a.m. in Nigeria. And I'm sure the hustling and bustling of Lagos, from Lagos to Kano to Sokoto to Zamfara. I say good morning, Archie, and how was the weekend? Let me come back again to you in the studio.
Oh, yeah, good morning, my brother. Weekend was tiring. I had to do lots of cooking because the missus wasn't feeling well, so this man has been very tired. But hey, we are here because we have to serve our people. Now, how was your weekend as well?
It was a very fruitful one, in as much as, sometimes the weekend runs faster than during the week. But I had a very great weekend with the family, most importantly. I had opportunity to visit my mom. It's good when you have your parents that are still alive. I mean, my dad hasn't been around. He died when I was very young. So, the only one that you have is to make sure that you're there. Yeah. Especially, when you look at the elderly ones that are living in kind of society in the UK. I was listening to you talking about the split second that the police have to do to the death of Chris Kaba that took place last year, 24 years old. And you can now think about the parents, what they have to go through. I mean, most of our parents that are still alive and living here, most of them will love to return back to Africa, but they will love to have the same kind of services that we are having here. And, the little time we can spend with them, and I think, 2 hours might not be enough, but again, it was well spent. And I think the last engagement was a meeting that has to do with the Yoruba nation that I had in the evening yesterday. And again, I watched quite a lot of movies over the weekend. And I think I did watch one, but I realized that it seems it's a repeated one. So I had to tell the wife that I think I have to go to bed. And I went to bed just before 10 o'clock, but to wake up early at 5 to get ready for the week ahead. So that is how the weekend has been.
Well, see, I believe we can talk about ours, but it's not everybody who has been fortunate that way. We talk about people who have been kidnapped, people who have been killed, and we look at all those things, and we see people who are hustling and bustling, doing everything possible. And that's why the song that I brought you says that still keep on. I mean, if you are falling down, get up, brush yourself up, and then wipe your tears, and then still keep on. You don't know, one day you will win. All right then. Listen, the Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the Starr Radio UK studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Okay, so first of all, 10 billion debt. The CBN defaults on payment to the banks. Is the CBN broke? Yomi.
Well, the CBN has always been broke, and the reason why Nigeria is broke is because Nigeria has not been a country that produces what it consumes. And if you're a country that is not producing what you're consuming, then you're likely to be broke, very, very broke. And you're quite right. A lot of us wonder why. And the reason why we are broke is we do not have what it takes. Remember that President Bola Tinubu at the G20 in India told us that we are eating our dinner too early. We should be eating breakfast, but it seems that we are moving too much when Nigerians are ordering pizza all the way in the UK. Remember that we had that from one of the ministers during Buhari. You're quite right. The reason why the president had a stopover at the United Arab Emirates on his way back from India was because he had to give assurance to the Emirates about the recoup of the money from the airlines being tickets sold in Nigeria. But again, a very, very report coming now that the $10 billion debt, the Central Bank of Nigeria default on payment to banks. Because why? I have the specimens, not the specimen because these are the original money, but the only thing is that I don't know when I'm going to be able to spend it, because this is the 1,000 naira. For the benefit of our listeners, we have the 500 naira, and this is an original dollar. When you go to the African party, you get spray money, so I keep mine all the time. So what we are looking at this morning is 1,000 naira to the dollar, and that is bringing a lot of pressures. It has been 2 weeks that the Central Bank of Nigeria promised to clear $10 billion of the foreign exchange debt that are owed to the bank. The Apex Bank has yet to do so according to the findings. This is coming when the naira is now being sold at 1,000 naira at the black market. You're not likely to get any dollar in any of the banks. Even if you are banking with them, you'll be told to go to the black market. The question now is, even though the new administration of President Bola Tinubu allowed what we call the investors and the exporter forex window, you can get that dollar at about 747. But the question is, do we have enough dollar to go in circulation? We've now got a new CBN governor. He has a lot to do, but remember that Emefiele, that was there for almost 8 years, is still being questioned for the way he handled the CBN, and those questions are being asked by many Nigerians. Where are we heading to when the dollar is now going to 1,000 naira? We have 3 months before Christmas. We do know that every Christmas, when you send money home, you get a little bit more extra. I had the privilege to be seen on my way out the Western Union, and I was looking at all the the buying and the selling. Western Bank, where Western Union doesn't work in Nigeria anymore. But the question this morning that Nigerians are asking is, what is the changes that would happen to bring down the dollar into the naira, at least so that it doesn't become a burden? It's going to cost food, cost services, everything is going to shoot up. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Interesting. Now, you did talk about Emefiele's situation where he's being investigated for how he managed the central bank. So let's take it that it is his actions and inactions that have caused it. That's been part of what they are saying. So you ask yourself the question, first of all, what was the sense in reprinting the new Naira notes when you know that you don't have the means to do so? What was the sense? And he had his boss, the president, who was in agreement, should I put it this way, cahoot with him to print that money. So you ask yourself the question, if the is it whichever organization, is it the DSS who are investigating him, why don't they investigate the president, the former president as well? Why don't they investigate every minister for their roles that they played in particular fields? Those who were, painting someone's aeroplane and saying that is our aeroplane. Those who were, oil. We were going to be talking about the oil, the amount of monies that have gone down the drain. why are they not going all out to investigate all those things and bring those monies in? Yomi.
Remember that we are still running the same APC government.
Mm-hmm.
The only change there is we have a new sheriff in town.
Mm-hmm.
If the PDP have taken control of the power, which they are still trying, but we have to wait for the judgment from the Supreme Court if that is going to happen. When it has to happen, we'll have to wait. Maybe we could have been able to say that the new administration will be able to probe the previous administration. The current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, wants to fight corruption, but the corruption has to start from what actually took place for the last 8 years at the previous government. And if you're going to be really serious on fighting corruption, you're not just going to be going after Emefiele, because Emefiele was going in the what the president, as at the time, wanted him to do. I don't think Emefiele was doing anything that would have to be done without the authorization from the previous administration. So if you're going after Emefiele, then you might as well go after the previous administration. And that also would have to go into from the military to different sectors. But again, should this administration do that, and should they come back and if there's a new other administration, we don't know what is going to happen in 2027, which is going to be the next election in the federal area. Should APC come back, are they going to probe the previous administration? It seems that, as Fela Anikula Kukuti, may so rest in peace, say, it is party government. I do not see this current administration probing much of the previous administration.
Well, interesting. Whether they're going to cut their nose to spite their faces, I doubt that, because, like Yomi said, it's the same government, the same party that is in power. Therefore, they don't want to do anything to actually ruin themselves and say that we didn't do well in the past. So, what are we going to see? So, if Tinubu is saying he's going to be fighting corruption like no man's business, where is he starting from? Is it from his tenure or the past ones? Then they should let Emefiele go away scot-free. But, well, listeners, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Updates from Nigeria at 90 minutes past 11. My ex-classmate Osman Oladipo is languishing as a general manager in Nigeria mediocre bank. That's what Shetima is saying. So he reckons that maybe Oladipo should have joined him in politics so that he can make more money there. Is that what he meant?
Well, the vice president spoke, sometime last week. We'll see if I can get the audio, later on in the course of the program. And you're quite right. We all have different classmates, and sometimes some of them have gone into different sectors. But it seems that, during a engagement with this former classmate, the vice president says that Usman Oladipo is now languishing. I don't know the reason why he has actually used that phrase, languishing, because when you look at the English dictionary of languishing, it's failing to make progress. Is he really saying that Nigerians are failing, just like his classmate is failing? But those of us in politics, we know our way around, and even though we might not be the best, but we are still want to serve Nigerians, and we have to serve it in due diligence. The Vice President Kashima Shettima says the current lawmakers should count themselves among the luckiest and underserving crop of Nigerians, given the fact that his former classmate Usman Oladipo, who got awarded the best graduating student in 1991, that was when I was getting into the secondary school, had a master's degree program, but is now languishing in a mediocre financial institution. And you can tell that the financial institution is in a real big mess. So we hope that somebody like Usman, that should have transformed things. Well, people might say Emefiele is very brilliant, but we saw the mess Emefiele and Buhari did. And we should also remind ourselves that each time we talk about the former president Muhammadu Buhari, remember that we had Professor Yemi Osinbajo. We were told that he was one of the best as well during his time. Maybe it was just a mediocre that couldn't bring the rule of law and allow someone like Nnamdi Kanu to be kidnapped, rendition back to Nigeria.
Well, listeners, the question is can we actually hold our politicians, those whom we have elected to power, accountable, or they become gods to themselves and then lord it over us? Is that what is happening? But listeners, I'm not very sure about that. So should we all go into politics? And what have they doing? What have they been doing there? You know, interestingly, Yomi, we talk about where declaration of assets before people take those offices. How robust is the system in Nigeria to check those things?
Well, it's not robust. I don't think any of them are ready to do that. The question is, even those that have done it, what has been the outcome from those, investigating them as well? But one thing we've got to remind ourselves is that when it comes to declaring your assets as politicians, most of them already from the beginning, we don't even know. They're very, very shady. I mean, we're still finding it difficult to get the result of the president himself. He's doing everything, to stop Atiku. But we will find out again this week whether the president result from the Chicago University. So if we're talking about just the result cannot be declared, you can imagine the kind of asset that they are also not declaring, because most of those assets are running under what we call proxies.
Okay, listen to Starr Radio. Okay, now so we know that when it comes to the presidential petition, the first verdict has been given, but we know they are embarking on going to the Supreme Court for redress there, to seek redress there. However, the governor for APC Governor Allah has said that nobody can claim power in court through back door. So what is he trying to say? I'm not getting it. Now that we have Atiku saying that we want Tinubu's results and a few things, and they say we want to go to the Supreme Court as well. They're saying that we cannot win an election through the back door. It's quite an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, I don't think anybody wants to win election through the back door. But if the INEC have done what the chairman told us, especially, he traveled 6 hours to come and speak to Chatham House. I don't know why they have to do that, but it seems that Chatham House, must decide who becomes the Nigerian or African president. A lot of Nigerians disagree with that. I disagree with that. I don't see any reason why we have to bring our representative and present themselves to, Chatham House. Chatham House, is not where election is going to be held. But the Benue State Governor, Achisinte Aliyah, says the Nigerian justice system is fair and also transparent, and it will not allow political parties, neither their candidate, to assume power through the back door. Why is he saying that? He's actually saying these are dedicating his victory at the governorship election petition tribunal to God, again God, and the Benue people. Remember that Benue State had a PDP in power, but again the tribunal has upheld Mr. Alai's victory and dismissed the petition that was filed by the PDP gubernatorial candidate Titus Mba.
Okay, well, let them continue that way. Let's see what is going to happen from there. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 11:25 the time. There's a couple of other stories that I wanted to touch on before I let Yomi loose to bring you all the rest. Now, Lagos Deputy Governor arrives in tribunal as well. Is the breaking news that is coming through. I'm just picking on those ones now. But there was one about oil theft that they were saying that, Serap is urging Tinubu to probe oil theft. Let me bring you details of that, and then let's see. Now, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, Serap, has urged President Bola Tinubu to set up a presidential panel of inquiry to promptly probe the grim allegation that over $15 billion of oil revenues and 200 billion naira budgeted to repair the refineries are missing and unaccounted for between 2020 and 2021, as documented by the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. Yomi, this is huge sums of money. We're talking about government going, borrowing, but look at such an amount that is gone missing. The oil refineries are not working. Where is the money? Yomi.
Well, money has always been missing. Maybe we should just again go back to maybe somebody like Usman Ladipo would have been able to help us if things were put in place. But let's listen to the vice president. We've been able to get the audio of that. Let's listen to that, and then we come back to
Nigerians. We are going to spend more years of our lives outside power than in power. Power to me is a humbling experience. Power should be used for the good of the people. We are the luckiest amongst Nigerians. We are not better than our next door neighbor. Yesterday, I hosted my classmates from the University of Ibadan, the MSc class of 1991. The best graduating student in my class was from Oladipo. Oladipo is languishing as a DGM in one mediocre bank. You're the best graduating student. That goes to show that we are here not because we are the best of the best.
Well, you've heard it there. That is the way Shetima actually presented it. You're talking about the crude oil. Remember that $5 billion of Nigerian revenue left the country after the sales of the same crude oil. So when it comes to and this was from the former military dictator Sani Abacha. So people like us are no longer worried when it comes to large amount of money. The question is, how do we stop this flow of money that should have returned back to Nigeria and get stuck in other countries? Remember that the president traveled to France at the beginning of his tenure when they had this global financial summit in France. Mm-hmm. The West still allow large chunk of money from Africa deposited into their institution and different banks in proxies around the world, and that literally means that poverty will remain in Africa. But if the West are serious, then they must tighten up to make sure that after every huge transaction of the crude oil sales, then money needs to return back for the development of the other part of the globe.
Well, it's quite interesting. So is it that the money got missing in Nigeria, or is it outside Nigeria?
Well, most of this money moves from Nigeria as a product, which is the crude oil. Then eventually it end up in different places. Remember that in the next few days, sometime next week, on the 2nd, the next week, Monday, we'll be going down to the magistrate court here in London. And the reason for that is because, again, Nigeria ex-oil minister Dezeni Alice-Madueke charged with bribery in the United Kingdom. So when we talk about sales of crude oil that should have returned the revenue back to Nigeria, definitely those money are money that should have not been used in other countries. But again, when we have a corrupt system, especially the banking sector that also allows such transactions to happen, it will take a lot of work if the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to deal with those areas, especially now that we have the new CBN, we have Niro Ribado, the NSA. They should be able to trace wherever those corrupt money are going and then return them back to Nigeria.
Okay, listeners, we'll be following it very closely and we'll see what is happening there, how those monies went missing, and can we get them back? 11:31 the time. Let me acknowledge Anthony Adedeji. Lots of hearts to you as well. Thumbs up, and we love you so much. We thank God Nigeria has not happened to you, but Nigeria has happened to a group of people. Unknown gunmen kidnap a commissioner for information, and then there is gunmen also killing 14 and kidnapping 60 in the northern Nigeria. Balagu Shogun Olamide, thumbs up to you, and thank you very much. Yomi, what's happening?
Well, Zamfara State was, as we left over the weekend, just on Friday, not even up to the weekend yet, we started getting the report of what we can say 25 students from a particular university kidnapped in Zamfara State. The question is, the new administration is promising to tackle and look into. Okay, there's a report as I speak to you right now. There's a fire outbreak at the Supreme Court in Abuja. That is, what is currently coming up as I speak to you right now. We see if we can get the image in just about a few minutes. It was a very terrible situation when the news came into the limelight that, again, just as we remember, they bring back our girls. So that is kind of another reflection, especially when you believe that more security should have been done to protect different universities and institutions across the country, but that doesn't seem to be the current situation. But what I can confirm to you, 25 young students from a particular university have been kidnapped, and as I speak to you right now, the president have now directed for the search and rescue. The news has already gone around the world as usual. Terrorists kidnapped, 60 were killed as well. Maiduguri on the 24th, terrorists in Nigeria killed, and on Sunday there were also some adoption as well, 60 in a 2 community in Zamfara State, and the local traditional leader as well. And as I speak to you again this morning, there's another report that is just coming out as we have it to say that an unidentified gunman have kidnapped a commissioner in Benue State. Matthew Abo, the Benue State Commissioner for Information and Culture and Tourism, has been kidnapped by the unknown gunman. I was looking at the U.S. advised citizen against traveling to Nigeria. This was an update from the United States the U.S. Department of State rather, and this is how they actually told some of their citizens that might be thinking to travel to Nigeria. A lot of Nigerians in diaspora will be planning to travel for the holiday festival that is coming up in the next couple of months, but the travel advisory says reconsider travel to Nigeria due to crime, terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, armed gangs. Some areas have risk. Again, do not travel to Borno State, Yobe, Kogi, and northern Adamawa State due to terrorism and kidnapping. Do not travel to Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara. Zamfara is where the latest kidnap has taken place. Do not go there due to kidnapping. Do not travel to Abia, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Enugu, Imo, and Rivers State, with exemption from Port Harcourt due to crime and kidnapping. In summary, all these are due to violent crimes such as armed robbery, assault, carjacking, kidnapping, hostage taking, roadside banditry, and also rape. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Now, it's quite interesting with the swearing in of the new security bosses. We thought that there was going to be a change in when it comes to kidnapping and everything that is going on, but we don't seem to see that. It seems to be on ascendancy. What do you think?
Well, the administration has a lot of work to do because the security situation in Nigeria is a complete mess. Lagos State, that you would think that should be on the safe side, again over the weekend, 5 military men, they are not military but putting on military outfits, have been operating in Lagos. But the good thing is they were apprehended, and they are not just in one location, they are almost different locations in Lagos State. The question is how many of such individuals are putting on the military outfit and have the guts to stay in Lagos State, Ogun State, and other states across Nigeria. And like I said, most time you cannot now differentiate who is the real military personnel and who is not. I mean, these were full military uniform with some rifles as well, and they've been detained.
Okay, and there's a story about some Gatsu University students who they are saying that the president has ordered the security to rescue them.
That is the one in Zamfara State.
That's the one in Zamfara State.
Yeah. So we're talking about different incident that has taken place over the week. I mean, during the weekend. So we have the 25 in Zamfara State, which the president has now given the security to try and do as much as whatever it takes to bring them back. Remember that we still have the NYSC copper that were also kidnapped in August 17. Till date, nobody has been able to find their location. And the question is, all these individuals are still not left Nigeria. They're still in Nigeria. But the question is, what part of Nigeria are they being kept in some of those forests and around each of the states where they have been kept by the terrorists?
Okay. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, in the background of Mr. Olayomi Koiki, you will see some fire. Well,
that's the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court, yes. There's a section of the Supreme Court building at the 3-armed zone in Abuja. Is on fire. Well, it's quite an interesting one where the Supreme Court will be on fire.
Especially when there's going to be some kind of upcoming activities there. But again, we hope this is not arson. We hope this is just some kind of electrical problem. But again, why the Supreme Court at this particular time? Many Nigerians will be following the development as well. There's another breaking news that is coming as I speak to you right now. It seems that the young man that was kidnapped in Ilorin has now been granted what we call bail. We hope that bail will be able to be something that can bring him back. That is just the breaking news that is coming right now. Kwara State Court has now granted the Isheshe religion practitioner known as Tani Olong, but the lawyer gives reason why the activists can't regain the freedom yet. So we are monitoring that situation there. It's been held for the last almost a month plus now, but it seems that his freedom might be coming very, very soon. Once again, these are some of the latest breaking news coming from Nigeria, and that again is the picture of Tani Olong right in the court there, in Ilorin. I think it's one of the images there. But let's again take you back to what do we know much from what is happening in with the fire incident in Abuja right now. There's not much coming from the authority, but I can confirm also that that fire is is now being curtailed. 3 people have narrowly escaped death, as again not a very good one when container falls on the in Lagos State. I actually saw the governor, the governor of Lagos State. We'll see if we can get the audio of that before we leave this today. Somewhere, very, very bitter about, I think we have that now. Let's see if we can get that to us as quickly as possible. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK. Quite a lot happening in Nigeria, but be rest assured that, you can get all those news and updates right from this platform as we continue to give it to you as it's happening, not just in Nigeria. Yes, I picked up, the news that you talked about, Mr. Archie, in Benin Republic, a very sad one. About 35 people, including a child, have died. Again, I've been to Benin Republic. Most of the time, you cannot see a petrol station. So literally, everyone is selling, their petrol right on the road in bottles. And we wonder why that should still be happening today. I have the image from the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and I believe we should have, the soundtrack of that in just about a few minutes. Once again, we continue to give you some of the other news while we're preparing that. Let's go back again to see some of the other headlines as we have it. Nigerian players abroad, reign of goals. That is also coming this morning from the headline. The Italy-born left back Udogie continued to keep his shirt in the starting lineup at an angle at the post-Congo team as Tottenham play to Arsenal in a draw yesterday for those that love football. I don't know whether you follow the football. I was looking at the Premier League. It seems that I'm really, really back not knowing what is happening. Luton is now part of the Premier League.
Yeah. They've joined him. Promoted. They've been promoted to join. I
didn't know that. It seems that I'm not really up to date with what is happening. I was looking at the paper this morning. I saw Luton. I saw some very, very small clubs. And you wonder that it seems that football has really turned around. And when I was looking at that, I said to myself, wow, Bournemouth as well, Wolverhampton and Burnley. And it seems that Chelsea is not doing very well for the Chelsea fans this morning. But it seems that let's take one or two more from the news, and then we go straight to the social media while we're preparing for the soundtrack from Babajide Sanwo-Olu as soon as we have it. And I think that is coming up in just about a few minutes. Once again, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. The business news, how to effectively cut electricity. Electricity is one of the biggest problems in Nigeria. How do you cut electricity? Is the optimized electricity bill management includes strategic energy usage, adopting efficiency appliance, unplugging, ideal device insulating. All this is easier said than done, but it seems I'm not too sure. And this is Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
This whole loop is zero. Zero container, nothing here again. This whole loop is zero. Okay, that's why I'm here myself to tell you. In 1 day, 2 days, everything is destroyed. Okay, 1 day, 2 days, by Monday, nothing else. Tell all these trucks, they're losing it. They're losing it. Okay, I don't want anything around this loop again. It is total lawlessness. Okay,
well, it's a total lawlessness, and that again has created what we can say an accident with a container that is falling over in Lagos State. So we hope the Lagos State governor will really get a grasp on that. Let's go back one more to the latest kidnap in
Before you go on that, with Sanwo-Olu's statement that it's making there. Yes. Now, where is that particular place where these containers? We can see the container behind you. Is it on the major road? Is it in the port? Where is it?
Well, it's not in the port. It's somewhere along the line, I believe, in Oshodi, in Lagos State. And you can tell that what you're seeing there from the video behind you are containers that have traveled from different part of the world. It could be from UK. Mm-hmm. And what people do is they offload it and they're doing their trades there. I think what the government might have to do is to allow where they can easily put those containers and then get it sold. But again, the lawlessness that has taken place, and the governor had to travel there himself, and that is the reason why you saw. Let's listen to it one more time again.
Container, nothing here again. This whole loop is zero. Okay, that's why I'm here myself to tell you. In 1 day, 2 days, everything is destroyed. Okay, 1 day, 2 days, by Monday, nothing else. Tell all these trucks, they're losing it. They're losing it. Okay, I don't want anything around this again.
Well, it's a total lawlessness, and whatever is going to bring safety, and I think that is exactly what the governor decided to travel there himself, and he's actually talking about today, this Monday.
Yeah.
So we hope things will be resolved in that particular area. But again, as he was there over the weekend, 3 narrowly escaped death as container falls on a car in Lagos State.
But interestingly, it's not necessarily only that place, because the containers, the trucks that they are being pulled, which is pulling these containers or moving these containers, some of them are not roadworthy. They are not. So automatically, there's a tendency that wherever it could happen anywhere.
Well, there was one that was driving without a tire on it.
Yeah. I remember I saw that.
I wonder what needs to be done, especially, we get these news all the time. According to the joint operatives of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, known as LASMA, the police and other emergency responded Sunday night, yesterday, to rescue 3 victims from a car that was trapped. That is the image behind you there, by an articulated vehicle at Ojuelegba. I'm sure you know Ojuelegba very well. It is not the first time we are seeing this, but the question is, should they now give instruction of what time these trucks need to travel? On my way back this morning, you see a lot of truck drivers, that drive. Some of them are timing when they can move, especially because of the traffic on the road. But it seems that the lawlessness that is taking place in Lagos, in that particular area in Ojuelegba, it seems that there's something there that has become a crime scene. Not just Ojuelegba, also Otedola Bridge is another area. But again, it's not just in Lagos. It's happening almost every part of this country. And again, we pray that more lives can be saved quickly, because container fall on you, you are not likely to survive such.
Wow, listen to Starr Radio UK. Let's go back to Yomi for what the update that you were bringing about the kidnapping thing there. Yes, go on, please.
Well, according to the report, Abo was again adopted yesterday night from his house. Could it be has to do with political undertone? We know that Benue State is a state that has been rampaged by terrorists. We remember that the former governor, I had an interview with him sometime last year, Governor Autumn, the former governor of Benue State. But it seems that what we can only say is that we hope that security measures can be put in place across Nigeria. Intelligent gathering is very, very important. But what we can confirm is, according to Teso, unfortunately, he was kidnapped in his country home in Ukun local government. We have 774 local government in Nigeria. Mr. Archie, I bet you will not be able to travel to some of those local government. But sometimes individuals want to go back to their local government. This is their route, but it could be a bit of risk. As I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, they've traveled back home last year, and they dare not go back to their hometown from not being kidnapped. So we hope that this individual will be found, just as others that are still in the captivity of the dungeon of the criminal terrorists. Let's take you now straight to what is happening on the social media this morning. Wura_Yoruba Nimi, hashtag Yoruba Nation Now. And we have, some kind of soundtrack again from, and I believe we should have that image as well, of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. He spoke yesterday, from Benin Republic. There was a rumor that he has regained his freedom, but again, as we have said, any proper information will come from a spokesperson and the proper channel, and that rumor was debunked over the weekend. But Igboho has, spoken through his IG yesterday, because he has also his own followers, and what actually was said there, I will translate it because it was actually, I think he spoke in English a little bit, but let's hear from Igboho himself. Let's see if we can get that. Bear with us. Yeah, we got a sound now.
You can see anything you like about me. Don't care. I'm still strong because God is my creator. But remember, this world is not our home. We live one day. Thank you.
And let's say it one more time.
You can see anything you like about me. Don't care. I'm still strong because God is my creator. But remember, this world is not our home. We live one day. Thank you.
Well, we're going to live one day. That is coming from Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. And let's go back to what is trending on the social media at 11:49 this morning. There's a particular nickname that the president seems to have gained from many Nigerians. Remember that the President Bola Tinubu says one area that is going to avoid is the social media. There's a name there that is trending, Amode Songodele, that is trending this morning. And then let's go and see what more is trending. Again, the death of Mohbad is still generating a lot of conversation. There was also some candlelight for him. We pray for his souls and just as many people that have died in Nigeria. 64,000 Supreme Court. Well, the same Supreme Court, the news coming out from Abuja is currently on fire. We hope not much document has got to do with the current, political things I've got burned there. That is the images behind you there. And also, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is trending at about 15,000 this morning. And the most important thing is, like I said, Nigerians are coming out mostly on the social media to get their voice heard. As again, Monday morning in the southeast is another seat at home, according to the government in exile of the Biafra. I come back again now to you in the studio. It is Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Another sad news that is coming now: hospitals in Nigeria have now become organ trafficking centers.
Wow. I think tomorrow, God willing, we might have to have time to discuss or look at that, because if you are going to the hospital and they just say, you have to have an operation or a surgery of a sort, then you have to look at it, because as to whether it is true or not. Maybe they just want to harvest your one of your lungs or something, or your kidneys. Boy, oh boy. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. The fire in the background will be monitoring. Now, let me ask you one thing before we bring the conversation to a close. How strong is the Nigeria Fire Brigade?
I think that they're giving a bit of much they're trying, let me put it that way, especially in Lagos State and Abuja and Rivers State. And you've got to remember those three states have a lot of resources as well, and training has been done. There was a fire in Lagos State. They will respond as quickly as possible, just like in Abuja. But I remember that some years back, the fire truck were always a big problem in Nigeria. We hope more investment can go into it as well.
Okay, we'll be following it very, very closely. And like Yomi said, we hope that it's not where all the evidence for the presidential petition hearing is burnt. And they say, well, your documents are all bent, Maybe I bet you don't have copies to bring again. Well, listen to Starr Radio UK. Yomi, before you go.
Well, it's the first day of the week again, as the last week of September. Make sure you remember to follow us on our social media handle on the Starr Radio UK network. And I'll be back again same time tomorrow at exactly 11 o'clock. But for now, Archie will take you through the rest of the program. Thank you so much for watching and listening to us. And those that are following us on the sister broadcast as well, I say a very good morning to you. Bye for now, Mr. Archie.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, we want to say thank you. Those of you on the YouTube, those of you on the Facebook, on all the sister platforms listening to us, we salute each and every one of you. But now, let me bring you some lovely tune. But let me precede that with this announcement, and then we go on from there. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. The family, the Christian community, friends and loved ones of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako wishes to invite friends and loved ones and all sympathizers to a one-week observation at the Numa Christian Center, 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, postcode CR040D. The event will take place on Friday, the 6th of October, 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Buses 466 and 463 ply that route. And if you want to travel on a tram, Beddington Lane is a stop for you. Also, there's going to be free parking there. For further information, please contact Evelyn on 075-5483-8421, Kojo 073-7592-8737, or Sheila on 079-8358-1818. Come and mourn with us, even as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako. God bless you. See you all there.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK. Now let's take our musical break and then we come back. And interestingly, I selected our music in line with Serap's call on the president to investigate, to set up a panel, a presidential panel, to investigate the $15 billion of oil revenue and 200 billion naira budgeted to repair refineries that have all gone missing. Missing to where? Well, enjoy this song. The Zongo man says it. It says, "Where is the dollar?" Enjoy, and I'll be with you.
hey. 10 men share $10, and one man who gets. It's a disgrace. Where is the dollar? 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 Give gorilla bananas to give to monkey. Hey, hey, hey. Give gorilla bananas to give to monkey. Yes, as you know.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
And one man who gets. Hey, hey, hey. 10 men share $10, and one man who gets. It's a disgrace. Where is the dollar? 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 Give gorilla bananas to give to monkey. Hey, hey, hey. Give gorilla bananas to give to monkey. You guys, you know, you no go see banana, banana, you no go see banana, monkey no go see banana, banana, you no go see banana. Where is the dollar? 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 Where is the dollar?
This is Starr Radio UK.
All right, then, listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to a minute past 12, and it is the Monday edition of the morning show. As I did say earlier on, exactly at 12:30, yes, we'll be crossing over to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Pallien is to bring you the Career 101. So don't dare touch the dial at all. But to every one of you on the various platforms listening to us, I want to salute each and every one of you. But let me announce the lines open, and then we can move on. 0208-133-2257 or 58 is the the numbers for you. If you want to hop in, just feel free to do so. You can text or WhatsApp us 0753-966-1744, 0753-966-1744. For X or Twitter, it is at Starr Radio UK, and our email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right, so now let me move on straight to other parts of the world. Let's see what is happening there. But as I did say, we'll be following very closely what is happening to the fire at the Supreme Court in Nigeria this morning. If there are any updates, if there's going to be any statement from the authorities there, we will let you know as well. But at the moment, it looks like the fire is some way, somehow under control. But As to whatever records or whatever thing that has been damaged, that is another question for your ears only. I don't know what has been damaged there. Maybe the petition by the PDP and the Labour Party, they'll tell you it's all gone. But listeners, it's Star Radio UK. 6-kilometer charity walk to support children fighting cancer is one of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria. And Unga, Burkina Faso once against Libya scenario in Niger and slams international hypocrisy. In a lengthy speech delivered in a vehement tone, Burkina Faso's Minister of State addressed the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, and I'll be telling you more about that. Now, what do we do? What do we do under these circumstances? Well, they said, you know what, we had a foreign or former colonial masters based there, bringing us all the military support that they're supposed to have fought all this insurgency, yet they didn't do anything. Now that they've changed government, they don't want them out of there. People are crying foul. But what do you think about all that? Are they there to serve their interests or serve their own personal interests as colonial masters? Star Radio UK. And then some other stories making the rounds on the African continent as well. Well, as I say, in Ghana, a 3-day protest over cost of living crisis has started. But I don't know. Well, they dubbed it Occupy Jilobi. Okay, I'll tell you more about that Jilobi, what it means when you say Jilobi in Ghana. It's a Ghana language, and I'll tell you exactly what that means. But the authorities are clamping down. We don't know what is going to be going on there. We don't know whether they're going to be set free. We don't know exactly what is going to happen, but whatever it is, let me bring you the details of this first one. In a speech lasting about 40 minutes, delivered in a vehement tone, Burkina Faso's Minister of State addressed the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly on Saturday. Now, when Minister of State Basolma Bazi took the floor before the green stone in the General Assembly, he honored the women and men who enable the world to dream and hope for just a fair world. However, he rapidly underlined the world for which the said figures had dreamed, in fact, never dawned. Now, every year, countless speeches with promises and pledges are given, he said, adding this was evidence of by the discrepancy between speeches and facts on matters of principles contained in the UN Charter, including justice, equity, equality, dignity, integrity, the right to self-determination, the sovereignty of states, the inviolability of territory, and respect for international law is what can be observed in Libya, in the Sahel, and more precisely in Niger in the Russia-Ukraine crisis. He warned that Niger could become a second Libya, strongly condemning the military intervention that preceded the death of late Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi, and I've said that time and over that, well, I think Libyans now will bite their fingers, put their fingers in their mouth and bite it, remembering their former leader for all that he did for them. Moving on straight to some other stories. Now, the mood in the semi-cracky neighborhood of Benin capital, Cotonou, is still somber as families mourn their dead who perished in a fire which gutted a contraband fuel depot on Saturday. There was still a heavy security presence in the area on Sunday. One man said he had lost 4 family members in the blaze. We don't know where the fire started, and there were a lot of people in the warehouse. I myself have 4 members of my family who perished in the flames. My younger brother, same father, same mother, and his elder son, my brother's wife, and my brother-in-law's wife, said Antoine Janta, a shopkeeper there. Now, Benin is a major destination for smuggled fuel from neighboring Nigeria. Fire accidents at illegal refineries, pipelines, and fuel dams are common in Nigeria too. Wow. What a shame. I don't know what the Benin authorities were doing when it came to that, but, well, people have lost their lives and they are gone. But listen, this is Star Radio UK. Now, moving on straight to some other stories this time around in Ghana as well. With placards reading, Ghana deserves better. We are tired of being voting machines. Or people equals power. Protesters rallied in Accra. The 3-day hashtag Occupy Jilobi House campaign ended on Saturday, September 23, despite downpour and demonstrators rallied for political change and economic reform. Now, we are only being Ghanaians. All we need is food, water, clothes. We want to be able to take care of our mothers and our fathers. Leading members and youth activists, Democracy Hub, Deborah Enyonam Dabo told a crowd. The protesters were bent on going to the seat of government, Gordon Jubilee House, but the police barred their ways. The police initially, my apologies, responded with a force on September 21, arresting over 50 protesters, including journalists. Now, let President Akufo-Addo and the Ghana Police Service be told that anytime anyone resists peaceful change, violence change would occasion. We don't want to engage in violence, but if they push us to the wall, we have no other option, political activist Bernard Mona said. The protest has its roots in the Fix the Country movement, which emerged in 2021. If Ghana's government has not provided an official comment on the Occupy Jubilee House protest, its convener from Democracy Hub remain determined. Well, as whether the government is going to make any statement from there is another thing. But this time round, we see the youth who were on the street demonstrating, and I see this. And I look at what has happened in Burkina Faso, I look at what has happened in Niger, I look at what has happened in Mali, I look at what is happening in Guinea, and I look at what is happening in Gabon, and I say that the same telltale signs are what we are seeing. Is it the reason why the police decided that they're not going to allow these individuals to picket at the Jubilee House at all? And as I said, Occupy Jubilee means that the son of a thief. So who are they talking about? Is it the president, or are there some people there? But if you look at the presidency, you look at governorship in the country, are you satisfied by it or with it? And then the question comes, if the democracy that we are practicing is not working, and all that people see is doom and gloom and everything going down the drain, then if what happened in Gabon, what is happened in Niger, what is happening in Mali, what is happening in Burkina Faso happens, do we blame them? Well. What did the Gabonese leader then say? What is his name? Is it Ali Bongo? No, Ali Bongo is the dad. What's the name of him? Well, he did say that, you know what? On anniversary of their country's independence, this made a statement, and I laughed when I listened to it, and I reread it several times. Then I laughed and said, well, what is happening in other parts of African country will not happen in this place. We'll make sure we protect it. Lo and behold, this few days on, an hour after he was declared as the winner of their presidential election, he was ousted. Now, so let it be told and let it be known to those leaders that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This morning I was listening to a program on the ITV News, and there was one politician, one from the West here, and we say that there is some sort of power that they become overwhelmed with, that when they get to that place, they don't see what we see, they don't hear what we hear, they cannot actually sympathize with that or empathize with us at all. So is that what is happening? And if that is what is happening, then I can tell you for sure that it's just a matter of time, What is happening in Ghana and other African countries, boy, oh boy, I don't think they've seen the last of it. So, well, listeners, it's Starr Radio, okay? 11 minutes past the top of the hour at a time. If you want to join in, feel free. If you post your comments on our Facebook page or any of the platforms, I promise you one thing for sure. I'm going to be looking at that, okay? Now, let's talk about the flood from the Bui Dam, the spillage that has left 1,500 residents displaced in Ghana. And this has become an annual affair. So around 1,500 residents, encompassing women and children from 500 households, find themselves displaced by floodwaters in Bupe, located in the central Gonja district of the Savannah region. And let me say good morning to Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama. because he hails from that place, right? Now, according to the Central Gonja Office of the National Disaster Management Organization, 239 adults, males, and 230 adults, females, in addition to 348 boys and 427 girls, have been compelled to evacuate their homes. NADMO further reports that 3 public toilets and an immeasurable number of private ones are now submerged, posing potential health hazards. A picture that is in front of me that I'm looking at is not one that you want to see in a household. And you ask yourself the question that this is an annual thing that happens, but what has the leadership of the country done about that? We know it comes from Burkina Faso. Now, why haven't they had a chat with them to find a way forward? Because anytime there's a spillage, what happens? People, their livelihood is just destroyed. But well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. 30 minutes past the top of the hour, and we have to now move on to other parts of the world to look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Starr Radio UK. But that'll be after this commercial break. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time down to 12:15, and it is the Monday edition of the morning show. With an announcement that took place earlier, the latter one, BB Clement will be coming your way tomorrow with BB Means Business. I will hope that you are all glued to your sets already to just get on with it, and then I really hope that you will be good there. But wherever it is and whatever you are or wherever you are listening to us from, feel free and share your take with us on Starr Radio UK. Okay, so let's bring you to the latter part of the first part of the program at quarter or 60 minutes past the top of the hour. In other parts of the world, now Hollywood writers in a deal to end the U.S. studio strike. Now it's been going on for some time now, but I think at long last their quest has been responded to. Now, screenwriters in the US says they have reached a tentative deal with the studio bosses that could see them end a strike that has lasted nearly 5 months. The Writers Guild of America, WGA, said it was exceptional, with meaningful gains and protections for writers. Now, WGA members must still have a final say. Hollywood writers are striking in a row over pay and the use of artificial intelligence in the industry. Now, Stranger Things and The Last of Us are among the shows which have been paused. It is the longest strike to affect Hollywood in decades and has halted most film and TV productions. A separate dispute involves actors who are also on strike. The writers' walkout, which began on the 2nd of May, has cost the U.S. economy around $5 billion, according to an estimate from Milken Institute economists Kevin Clouden. Well, I hope that they try to resolve the impasse there. Okay, let's move on to other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world before we land in the UK as well. Now, the notorious Italian mafia boss has died. The Italian mafia boss Matteo Messino Denaro, who was one of the country's most wanted men until his capture earlier this year, has died. The 61-year-old, thought to be the boss of the notorious Cosa Nostra mafia, had spent 30 years on the run before he was detained in January. He was being treated for cancer at the time of his arrest and was moved from prison to hospital last month. Denaro was thought to have been responsible for numerous murders. He was tried and sentenced to life in jail in absentia in 2002 for crimes including involvement in the 1992 killing of anti-mafia prosecutors Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino, and once boasted he could fill a cemetery with his victims. He also oversaw racketeering, illegal waste dumping, money laundering, and drug trafficking for the Cosa Nostra organized crime syndicate. Although he had been a fugitive since 1993, Messina Denaro was thought to have still been issuing orders to his subordinates from various secret locations. Now, according to a local media, he fell into an irreversible coma on Friday at hospital in the central Italian city of L'Aquila after requesting that he be given no aggressive medical treatment. Now, he had undergone surgery in recent months for issues to do with his cancer, but had reportedly not recovered following the latest operation. L'Aquila Mayor Pierluigi Biondi confirmed Denaro's death, writing on X, formerly Twitter. Now, that is what the epilogue of an existence lived without remorse or regret, a painful chapter in recent history that we cannot erase. Alongside his crimes, Denaro was thought to be a Cosa Nostra last secret keeper. Many informers and prosecutors believe he held all the information and the names of those involved in several of the most high-profile crimes in the mafia. More than 100 members of the armed forces were involved in his arrest in January, which happened at a private clinic in Sicily's capital, Palermo, where he was receiving chemotherapy. Well, listeners, so I say may his soul rest in peace, or may he burn in hell, whichever is appropriate. All right then, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. With 10 minutes to the top of the hour at a time, let's now come to the 10 minutes. That's to the end of the first part of the program before we go to Cyprus. Let's come to the UK front. All right then. Well, breaking news that just came through a moment ago talks about the child serial killer Lucy Letby to face retrial over attempted murder charges. Serial killer Lucy Letby will face a retrial on an outstanding charge of attempting to murder a baby girl. Letby, 33, was sentenced to a whole life order after being convicted last month of the murders of 7 babies and the attempted murder of 6 others at the Countess of Chester Hospital. However, the jury at the Manchester Crown Court had been unable to reach verdict on 6 counts of attempted murder. A provisional trial date of the 10th of June 2024 at the same court was fixed. Now, Letby attended the hearing via video link from a conference room at HMP New Hall in Wakefield, West Yorkshire. Sat behind a desk, she spoke only to confirm her name and that she could see and hear the proceedings. The Crown Prosecution Service told the hearing also at Manchester Crown Court it was seeking a retrial on the case of baby K. All right then. where justice needs to be served, justice has to be served. Now, the other story is making around backlash against scrapping the HS2 rail link grows. The former chancellor, criticism growing over the possible scrapping of the HS2 high-speed rail link between Birmingham and Manchester. Abandoning the link would be a gross act of vandalism. Former Chancellor George Osborne has said the Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham said axing the extension risks creating a north-south chasm. Now, speculation about the rail leg has grown as the government has refused to guarantee that the line will continue between the Midlands and North West. Now, speaking on Monday, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said he will not comment on that type of speculation. What I would say is we're absolutely committed to leveling up and spreading opportunity around the country, he said. And transport infrastructure is a key part of that. But not just big rail projects, but also local projects, improving local bus services, fixing potholes. All of these things make a difference in people's day-to-day lives. So is it that they're going to replace the HS2 with maybe filling potholes and making roads and providing buses? Is that what they're talking about there? What about investment that has gone down already? They're behaving like Africans do, you know. When a government in power starts a project, and then another government comes in with another, and then decide, you know what, we scrap that one, we hold that one, and we can start our own. And by the time we say the public has to pay for whatever indebtedness that has been accrued from that particular project, and that seems to be the same thing that is happening. But listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, let's come to this final story before we go to Cyprus, where we'll be bringing you HRH Linda Pallien. The Ministry of Defense is offering soldiers to support armed police in London after dozens of Met officers stood down from firearms duties. Now, more than 100 officers have turned in permits allowing them to carry weapons, a source close to us has said. There are more than 2,500 armed officers in the Met. Now, police said the action was being taken after an officer was charged with the murder of unnamed Chris Kaba, unarmed Chris Kaba, on who was 24. The Met Chief said Mark Rowley welcomed a Home Office review into armed policing. In an open letter to the Home Secretary, he said it was right for his forces were held to the highest standards, but the current system was undermining his officers and suggested they needed more legal protection. So when we talk about more legal protection here, what are we talking about there? Is it that the fact that they attacked, the person shot Chris Kaba? He shot at him. Now, what was happening there again was that they were driving, they were pursuing him, but he didn't know because there were no sirens, there were no lights on for you to know that, oh, they are pursuing me. And then was cornered. And when they cornered him, they just shot at him. So, a split-second decision. But is the right thing being done or not? That's the question on the lips of most people. So if you say they want protection, what kind of protection do they want? So that they can be rogue like the American police do, where they just go out there and then boom, 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 because we stopped you, and because you are running away, not even attacking us, or you are running away, they just shoot at you? Is that what is going to happen? Well. I don't know what the family of Chris Kaba will be thinking of. But we hope that the Home Office comes out with a proper review of this situation, so that, well, we agree that these officers are there to protect every one of us, okay, as citizens. But the split-second decision that they have to make, have they been assessed even that day, whether mentally they were capable of doing that? Or because they've been assessed maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago or about a month ago or whatever, they are able to still carry on. Maybe that night, the night before, that morning, or the person might have had a problem with their partners, their husbands or their wives or whatever it is, and then they would have come out with in anger and ended up what? Just firing, because I remember there was this story when one of the actors that I really love, I like his movies a lot, and he made a statement that when a black guy did he say a black guy raped or harmed a friend or something, he went out that day or that night moving about to see or looking for a black guy to either shoot at or stab or beat the person. I mean, so you ask yourself that question, that if that person might have had any situation that is making him hate somebody of color or and is one of these officers who is wielding this gun, and decide saying, okay, this one of them, let's just put him down, boom boom, and then kills the person, should the law protect the person? Or instead of going down for maybe murder, they should be charged for manslaughter? Is that what we are looking at here? But again, if they also think that, well, if I dare shoot and mistakenly kill the person, I'll be charged for murder, then I'm not going to be charging my weapon at all. I'm just going to just leave it. Let sleeping dogs lie, and whatever the individuals or entity is going to do, let them continue to do it. That is a big one, especially looking at the relationship of the police, the black community, or the community as a whole. But you know, interestingly, I've got neighbors who, both of them are police officers. They love me to. I like them to bits, you know. Yes, David and Megan. Let me say good afternoon to you wherever you are. I know you're on duty at the moment. It's quite an interesting one. But they are proper pals, you know. If you come and we're standing or doing some work together on our fences or just there, I mean, they are nice. So I'm not going to say that all police officers are that bad or rogue. No. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there are few who, because of maybe mental instability at a particular time, may act in a way that is not right. What do we do? And what is the protection that's going to come? And would that give them the power to just go around shooting like we see in the US? And what would the minority communities do? Listeners, let it be on your mind. Think about it. Tomorrow, God willing, we'll have a chat about that. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. The family, the Christian community, friends and loved ones of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako wishes to invite friends and loved ones and all sympathizers to a 1-week observation at the Numa Christian Center, 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, postcode CR040D. The event will take place on Friday, the 6th of October, 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Buses 466 and 463 ply that route. And if you want to travel on a tram, Beddington Lane is a stop for you. Also, there's going to be free parking there. For further information, please contact Evelyn on 075 5483 8421, Kojo 073 7592 8737, or Sheila on 079 8358 1818. Come and mourn with us, even as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako. God bless you and see you all there. Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's now time for Career 101 with HRH Linda Pallien. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Let's straight go to Cyprus, where she is all ready to fire on all cylinders. It is my honor to say a massive good afternoon to you, Linda.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. And you? Great. How is Mr. Pallien?
Very well, thank you so much.
Good. How was your weekend as well?
It was good. It was full of working, but it was good.
That's good. We love that. Okay, so what are we looking at today?
So we're looking at portfolios and personal websites.
Portfolios and personal websites. Okay. That's an interesting one. So maybe you wanna have your own portfolio. You want to do something. You want to be able to sell yourself. How do you do all that? Well, that is what exactly our own HRH Linda Pallien is going to be doing this afternoon. So let me hand over to her while she brings her presentation. Over to you, Linda.
Thank you so much. Today we've chosen to look at portfolios and personal websites. And as Archie said, it's a very topical subject to look at when you're selling yourself. Most of us are used to submitting a CV and the cover letter maybe that showcases our experience and what we do and what we're capable of. The next step further is creating a portfolio or personal website. Now most creatives are used to creating portfolios because if you're a model or an actress, you probably will have like a portfolio of the things that you've done, or an artist will have their portfolio. But other professionals don't tend to have portfolios. So when we're talking about this, we're talking about portfolios in general for professionals and creatives as well. So how can you as a dentist or as an accountant or as a marketing manager still have a portfolio that will be able to sell you, and what the difference is between the portfolio and the personal website, and why you might consider having one or the other or both. So we'll just identify and look at the pros and cons of having either and the benefits of having either a personal website or a portfolio.
Okay.
Right. So this is again taken from the application documents in the Career Success book. So these are other application documents that you might need. Now, a portfolio, when we talk about a portfolio, it's a collection of previous work, testimonials, a showcase of what you've done in the past. And we have a portfolio because they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. A portfolio really just demonstrates and gives evidence to everything that you said in your CV, that I've worked with this company, I've worked on this brand, I've worked on this campaign, I've worked with these account managers. So a portfolio will demonstrate that for you. And for creatives, as I said, for creatives, it's easy to run the campaign and say, I worked on this campaign and I did design the background music or whatever. But as an accountant or something, you could also show in your own words, it's not as straightforward as going, I worked with this company and there's their logo. But you can explain in your portfolio, well, we worked on this account. And if you have a non-disclosure agreement, because some people do when you work for someone, you don't have to mention the client's name, but you can describe them. So we worked for maybe a Fortune 500 company. At this point, they were looking to balance their books and maybe look at creative ways of saving money in this arena. Then my personal responsibility of this was to evaluate these accounts and blah, 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 and then you put the results in. And those you can include in your portfolio. See, it doesn't necessarily have to be visual, but telling the story. So the portfolio goes into depth with what you did, how it impacted the company, where they were from, and as a result of your work, what the results became, and how happy they were, or what feedback you received. So it's really important to create these portfolios, because you might think it's extra and it's a lot of work, but it might be the differentiator between you and the other candidates. Being able to evidence your work in a clear manner that the recruiter will see and go, oh, actually, I totally understand. That's a very creative way of doing stuff. So definitely, everybody can put together a portfolio. And on your CV and on your cover letter, you're quite limited in terms of how many words, how many pages, how much you can elaborate on your experience. On your portfolio, you can go into detail, including what softwares you used, what programs you used, who was involved as well. It's a little less structured than that. So really, if you think I have so much experience and I can't put it all in one CV, one 2-page CV or one 1-page CV, then definitely attach a portfolio which showcases what you've done. And of course, that goes a long way to sell you.
Okay, Linda, before you go on the portfolios now, do companies or employers look? Some of them, do they look into people presenting portfolios to them as well, or you thinking that okay, maybe let me just use that to boost out whatever that I'm doing? Which is it?
So, if you're not in an industry that typically looks at portfolios, they won't be looking. They won't be requiring a portfolio from you. However, if you've attached it, they will definitely take a look at it.
Okay.
And again, that puts you heads and shoulders above the rest, because no one else would have done that.
Okay.
And if you've submitted this extra attachment, or you have this hard copy of a portfolio with you in an interview, they will have to take a look at it, and this is all of the extra stuff that you might not have the time or the opportunity to explain in the interview. But if you've handed over this piece of paper, they have it with them, and consciously or subconsciously, it implants you in their brain, as the person that went the extra mile. And everybody's looking for somebody that goes the extra mile.
Of course. And as you said, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Okay, so, well, it's up to you if you are listening to us this afternoon. Yes, Career 101, creating portfolios and personal website. That's what we are looking at. We have HRH Linda Pallien, who is doing the presentation. And let's go back to Linda. Over to you.
Fantastic. So we'll round up on portfolios. Again, it shows that you're proactive and motivated. I touched on this earlier. You can have a hard copy, and I would always recommend you have both. You can have a hard copy that you give out physically at your interviews, especially if it's visual. But also you can have an electronic copy that you attach when you do your application forms. If you're applying by email, you can send it as an attachment by email. Usually when you're filling application forms, there's usually a button for additional evidence. You can attach that there too. So I would suggest to have both copies, just in case. And also the recruiter might not be the same person that interviews you, so whether you've given it to them already in an email, it serves you well if you have it in hard copy to present to the person in front of you as well. So you've got your hard copy and you've got your online version. Now let's talk about what else goes into a portfolio, and then we'll talk about personal websites. So when you start gathering your evidence, you want to take screenshots of emails as proof. If you take off the sensitive data, photos of the project, but also it needs to be structured in a way that everything that you include should say something, and a specific something about you, rather than, oh, this is a nice to have. Then I'm going to go through 20, 30 pages. But if you organize your portfolio in a way that it evidences key skills that are necessary for the job, it really helps. So identify what your trying to say or trying to portray in your portfolio. Be intentional when you create it. And consider what format it needs to be as well, whether it's hard copy or not. Be creative as well in terms of how you portray it, especially if it's not in the creative industry where it's all pictorial. You don't want to write essays about what you've done. So just a few bullet points that highlight it and included visuals where necessary will really help. A good rule of thumb is to try and include as many of the 5 senses as possible, because everyone learns differently. So some people might appreciate the paragraph by reading, some people might appreciate the visuals, some people might appreciate the statistics, some people might appreciate experience and experiential learning, you know, of saying, imagine and creating this scenario and taking them on a journey where you immerse them in whatever the project was. You know, so you can do a small exercise to demonstrate that. So as much as you can include all the 5 senses, the better it will be for you in your portfolio. And of course, you can tailor your portfolio to different jobs that you apply to. If you're doing a portfolio on modeling and you're now applying to an industry that doesn't really, where those transferable skills are not the key skills required, then you would be selective about how much of your modeling stuff you include in there.
So on that, so you have to make sure that the transferable skills are something to have got something to do with the presentation that you are doing. If not, don't put it in.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can mention it briefly, but don't make that the focal point of what you're trying to say, because if, for example, if you're going to factory work, it's not relevant to them, and then that would derail the interview. So being discerning is important when including stuff in your portfolio.
All right, continue.
And make sure that it's consistent with your brand. That's the last thing I will say as well. If you want it to come across as super organized or color coded or whatever impression it is you've given from your CV and your cover letter, then make sure it's consistent as well. I won't go putting in, or I wouldn't have someone else create a portfolio for you and then it doesn't match with the person sitting in front of them. If it's super manicured and super tailored and color coded, and you are a complete different, whatever the opposite of that is.
Good.
So that you didn't do your work yourself, and you don't want to start off by cheating.
Of course.
So now let's look at personal websites, because I get asked about this a lot. Should I have my own website? Everything is digital nowadays, and you know, rather than making my CV and tailoring it, if I have my website, then they can go look. You know, for some reason, this is people think, well, if I create a website, then people are just going to go to look. Think about how reluctant you are to click on a link when you're not convinced what's being.
I wouldn't do that. Okay, Linda, we can't hear you.
No.
Okay, yes, now I can hear you. No, it's gone again.
Okay.
Yes, I think you're back.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. That's my train of thought there. But again, your website is, if you create a website with, people think if you create a website and maybe I put my modeling stuff on one section and the other stuff on one section, it makes it confusing. And if the more work, the more barriers to discovering who you are, the less likely people will follow through all the way to read your about me section, to read your engineering section, to read your whatever. Personal website is a good asset, but make sure it's intentional. When if you do decide to do it, it's a good tool, and it shows proactivity, and it shows that you have a brand, or you believe in yourself, and it's a good showcase, and it's more accessible than printing off a CV or having a bio ready. But make sure it's it serves a particular purpose. You want it to be easy to navigate. They can go to the right place. If you want to send them just the CV aspect of it, then make sure the link goes directly to the CV. And it doesn't go to the homepage and then they have to look for the CV aspect of it.
Okay.
So there's different benefits of having a personal website. Two things to definitely include: it should have a strong about me section, but also your personal contact, how they can reach you from there. So definitely must include. It can be one page. It doesn't have to be an elaborate website. It doesn't even have to be a paid website. You can have one of these free extensions. I think to some extent, depending on what job you're trying to go for, you can be forgiven for having a free website with just a page on there. As long as it's a well-presented page. What are the benefits of a personal website? It boosts your online image. It comes in handy when you're being headhunted, so that you're not having to now tailor a job or tailor your CV or spend time from your current occupation to tailor it to it. But you can direct people there easy, so it's an online presence ready for whoever is looking to have you. And it doesn't say, oh, I've just put my CV out there. It was already there. I just send them a link to it to see who I am. And your LinkedIn profile to some extent can do this for you too.
Okay.
It makes you easily searchable, so it enhances your search engine optimization as an individual. You can control what people see about you when they search for your name, which is really helpful if you've been in different industries and you're trying to control the narrative of where you want to go into. It showcases your creativity for sure. It's an easy way to contact you or to showcase who you are. And it's a quick way to show your competencies without having to explain so much. And you can put videos on there so you can evidence everything that you're trying to convey in a really easy way, in a one-stop way. Yes, so you can have a personal website when it comes to just a general showcase of who you are and trying to have a hub where people can contact you. But generally, a portfolio will do for a job application. A personal website is a step further. And you can have both, of course.
Okay.
As well, as long as they're consistent. You don't want to have different portals that represent different aspects of your multiple personalities. It becomes confusing.
Wow. Listeners, HRH Linda Pallien today on Career 101, looking at creating portfolios and personal websites. Now, are you trying to do something of the sort and you're not very sure of it? Well, this all came from the book that she's written. So those of you who joined in the first part, the early part of the conversation, you could see the books there. Now this time around, I'm going to be directing you, let me put it that way, to the books, or referring to the books. So once we have the conversation or the summary, go to the books and then you can get a summary from there, the details and everything there. But for today, I will let her summarize what we've discussed, and then but subsequent ones, you want to know more, we want to help you. So go get your hands on the books. They are very, very cheap. Looking at it, because there are resources that once you have it, your life changes big time. Okay, so it's very, very important. Okay, so let me go back to Linda. She'll summarize, and then we'll bring. She'll talk briefly about the books. I've been talking about these books wherever I go. I'm like, I think I need to get some commission on that. But no, I'm doing it for my Linda, so I'm supposed to do that. Yes. Okay, so let's go back to Linda for a summary of what we discussed, and then she'll talk about the books as well. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. So today's topic is picked from the Career Success book, and it's from the section Creating Outstanding Profiles. Everybody knows how to create a profile, but can you create a profile that stands out, that will get you a call back every time? That's what we've been talking about. Definitely. So we spoke about creating portfolio and personal websites. We found out that portfolios are for everyone, not just for creatives. So even if your job is mundane as a security guard or whatever it is, or as a cleaner, whatever job you do, that isn't necessarily a creative, or you wouldn't immediately think portfolio. I've given you some tips that you can use to create a portfolio that makes your image much better and makes it sticky in the minds of people rather than just using your words. So for example, if you created, I'll use a security guard example. If you created an avatar, for example, so me as a security guard, I'm the equivalent of Jack Reacher. For example, I do this and I believe in this and here are my values and it's embodied in this. And you can see it via these examples when I worked as a security guard for the mall or for the president, and I did this, and in this instance this happened, whatever. And you can create creatively that storyline that really elaborates who you are as a professional. So it's not just for creatives. You as a professional, you can creatively use a portfolio to showcase more of what your personality is and why you deserve the job or the promotion or the pay rise, whatever you're going for.
Okay.
We spoke about the different formats of your portfolio as well and when to use which one. We've spoken about the advantages of having a portfolio. And then we spoke about personal websites as well, how you can do it easily, more accessibly, more cheaply, but why it's beneficial, how you can do it so it's consistent, how you can share that link. In the cases when it will be easier for you to have a personal website, if you want to showcase a particular section, then you can send this particular link to people explaining what they'll see and they'll go and click on it. And we spoke about don't just share a link, tell them what they're going to see or what to look out for so that they go onto your site with a purpose. So that really helps when it comes to just having an online place where you can control the narrative, people can go find out more about you, and of course how to contact you. Don't forget that. Make sure that your contact me is very visible for that. If you want to know more, as I said, it's taken from the Career Success book, and there's a detailed explanation of other ways to create an outstanding profile. These are only 2 ways. There's so many ways, so definitely go check it out. You can find this book on Amazon UK. You can find it Amazon.com all around the world, in Canada, in the Asian countries, in Australia, in the US as well. Definitely. The first book is How to Career, which will help you in deciding which career to go for. The second book will help boost the career that you've chosen to go into. And the third book, which is the Career Workbook, will take you through step by step which stage of your career you are at, evaluate and see if it's the right step for you, and how to get to the next level. So those are the 3 books. They're available online. Just Google Career and Linda Pallien, and that should come up easily for you.
Okay. Now, Linda, your contact details, please. Yes, so that we can contact you.
Contact me on lindapallien.com or on social media at Linda Pallien on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and also on LinkedIn. More importantly, LinkedIn.
Okay. Linda, let me say thank you very much for another wonderful presentation today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, have a lovely day. Right then. Bye-bye. Well, it's... The family, the Christian community, friends and loved ones of the late Apostle Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako wishes to invite friends and loved ones and all sympathizers to a 1-week observation at the New Christian Center, 87 Veddington Lane, Croydon, postcode CR040D. The event will take place on Friday, the 6th of October 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. answers 466-463. Apply that route. And if you want to travel on a tram, Bettington Lane is the stop for you. Also, there's going to be free parking there. For further information, please contact Evelyn 075-5483-8421. Kojo 073-7592-8737 or Sheila 079-8358-1818. Come and mourn with us, even as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako. God bless you. See you all there.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back, and let me say thank you very much for joining us today. We're bringing the program to a close now, but God willing, tomorrow we'll be back, yes, with another edition of the morning show. And as I did announce, BB Clement will be coming your way with BB Means Business. Those of you who love the music, more music, let's talk. Yeah, it's going to be taking place now, so wherever you are, stay glued to your set, don't touch the dial. But until I come your way tomorrow once again, I say it's Archie and all the team behind the scenes saying have a lovely day and bye-bye for now.
Rise up your feet and move forward to the feet. Before tonight, the pain will heal, and I know you'll be free. Rise up your feet and move forward to the feet. Before tonight, just believe, I know you'll be free. Wipe those tears away, yeah. Today you're weak, tomorrow you'll be strong. There comes a day when you smile again, when your worry and trouble will be gone. So as you rise up your feet and move forward to the feet. Before tonight, the pain will heal, and I know you'll be free. You rise up your feet and move forward to the feet. Before tonight, the pain will heal, believe you'll be free. Hey. Dry those tears away, yeah. Today you're weak, tomorrow you'll be strong. Hey.
This is Starr Radio UK.
When you smile again,